Everybody seen today's agenda? Is there any comments, corrections? Hearing none, today's agenda will be approved as written. Reading of the minutes.
September 2nd, 2025, the Board of Supervisors met at 9 a.m. with Jay Mulbauer, Chair presiding. Members present were Schultz, Dozark, Mulbauer, Hayden, and Rosberg. Minutes of the previous meeting were read and approved. Board approved the termination of Amber Nelson, part-time RN, Jen Mackey, PRN, dental hygienist, public health, the resignation of Dave Roth, the assistant custodian, and the new hire of Melissa Stephenson, part-time jailer, sheriff's office. Motion was made by Dozark, seconded by Hayden, to approve the quote of mini split swap out for Ryan's office with Carroll Control Systems for $1,930. Motion passed unanimously. A motion was made by Hayden, seconded by Schultz, to approve filling out the Iowa Municipal Workers Compensation Association official ballot. Motion passed unanimously. A motion was made by Schultz, seconded by Dozark, to approve the maintenance agreement for the courthouse generator at Cummins. Actually, it's courthouse and the jail generator. We'll get that fixed. It's both. It was both contracts. Motion passed unanimously. Or are they separate? Oh, they're separate. Sorry. Yeah. Motion was made by Rosberg, seconded by Hayden, to approve the maintenance agreement for the jail generator with Cummins Sales. Motion passed unanimously. A motion was made by Hayden, seconded by Rosberg, to approve the hiring of Jeff Schweiger as head custodian. Motion passed unanimously. A motion was made by Dozark, seconded by Hayden, to approve Crawford County's 509A filing. Motion passed unanimously. On motion, duly seconded, the board adjourned at 10:25 a.m. Agendas for the next meeting are posted and available at the courthouse on Friday, 4:30 p.m. preceding the next meeting.
Any correction, comments? Hearing none, minutes will be approved as written.
No, but they do. No, we don't. Why did we sign this? I thought this was signed.
What?
It was on my desk, had us from last week.
No, no. It's an
Oh.
application.
Why was it stamped?
I don't.
That's, what
Just
I.
for the date of filing.
Okay.
Was that the one in the envelope from last week?
It's just on my
That's
desk.
one at that.
Yeah, I don't. Wasn't there one in a manila envelope last week on your desk? What was that
They
one?
just left in there.
Oh, that's a different one? Is that for this position
I
too?
wasn't real spent with that.
Oh, got it. Yeah, I don't think you had this one when
I
we
didn't know we
we
had
did
interviewed
interviews and
again or
stuff.
anything like that.
So someone had dropped it off in the meantime.
I kind of looked at it.
Yeah, I think there was a gentleman that stopped in our office after the meeting on Tuesday, the afternoon. And we just let him know that the position's been filled and no decision had been made on the second position
All right.
of custodian.
I was
So,
confused. I
No,
was
you're all right.
confused. I thought I slept a whole week and
no.
didn't know what was going on, so. Very good.
Okay, we'll move on to supervisor reports. Kyle.
With nothing much going on, we just met with, Chuck and Travis and got to try to get the ducks in a row and add in the paper for it. We're working with Terry on, for the position at the landfill. So,
I got it on Iowa Works.
okay, so we're working on trying to get that position filled. That was created by the hiring of the position in here. So
How long had Jeff been in Landfill?
13 or 14 years, so.
Oh, okay. I couldn't remember.
So, I mean, there's that, and there's actually really, I don't want to say how the applications go, or it might end up being actually, we don't know how it could go, it might end up, we get an application that said possibly need two positions, but facility's kind of in a one part-time fill-in position out there, but that part-time one is could be a full-time one, but that part-time employee's been there for a long time. You know, just if we get two good applications, we might make two full-time positions. We don't know. We're just gonna see how it plays. Definitely had one full-time.
Did you see that shot? No.
Other than that,
Stole
We
some
had our-
of the,
conference
I
board
stole
meeting,
this out
but
of there.
don't know about that, so.
Yep. Tommy John, okay.
That's it.
Okay, Craig?
I really didn't have anything last week either. I'll just, I will notify the board that we have our final, Doge meeting next Monday. Public meeting with a reception at Temple Terrace afterwards, the late afternoon or the evening. And so I guess I'm just letting you know, because I'm sure from the press standpoint, each of our subcommittees will be making recommendations. I mean, prior public meeting, there were 45 recommendations. There'll probably be a few more at our meeting next Tuesday. And it's been a very, what do you want to say? I've learned a lot about our state government that I didn't know going in. I've learned a lot about the feelings of people that maybe work for the state government that I didn't know before. I mean, I certainly have received a lot of phone calls from people in the state of Iowa since my name gets listed, and they can Google search it, go on our website. My cell phone is listed on the Board of Supervisors website, which I want it to be, so the public can access me at any time. And, but that has made other people, the ability to access me also.
Positive versus negative comments percentage wise?
There has been both. There has been both. And you see, sometimes you see the worst of people. I mean, some have been not very good at all. But I think that's the society we live in anymore, that, that's unfortunate, because you like to just have a conversation, which I had many wonderful conversations with people throughout the state where we would talk for 15, 20 minutes and not debate, but they would state their side, and I'd be able to state what our process is, what we're thinking is. The Doge committee, I guess, isn't trying to implement anything. We don't have any power. The legislature has all the power. We don't have any power. We're just making recommendations, or just making things that we think you need to think about that haven't been thought about for a long time. Why don't you think about it? Why don't you have discussion about this? And we think that makes politics and politicians better if you have those discussions.
Yeah.
No matter what side of the aisle you're at. And too many times we don't have those discussions anymore. And so.
But you can see why.
Exactly. I can.
Look what happens.
Right.
People can't sit down and have rational discussion.
Right.
That's what you should say, rational discussion.
You're absolutely right, Ty.
Do you feel that most of the concerns were personal in nature, that's gonna affect them personally, or if they were looking at the overall
No, it's
personal, something,
yeah.
was it employees that called to be concerned about?
Well, some was employees, some was just the sacred cows of some things that are in politics that, hey, you can't touch that. You can't talk about that.
Oh, wow.
And we were challenged, I think, by the governor in our very first meeting, was that leave no stone unturned. There are no sacred cows. And whatever you bring up, you bring up. Whatever you discuss, you discuss. I'm not telling you to back off of anything, and she never did, even when, you know, it got a little controversial, I guess, when we first publicly came out and just said we were, you know, when we mentioned the word IPERS and defined benefit plan versus a defined contribution plan, and maybe the state of Iowa should look at defined contribution plan, because the defined benefit plan at some point in time is going to be an albatross around the necks of the taxpayers of the great state of Iowa. And that brought about a lot of phone calls and discussions where people, like you say, talking about it personal, they would call and say, hey, I've got 40 years in, I'm retiring next year, don't you be touching my IPERS. Well, we didn't, all we said was that we need to have a defined contribution plan, or not, we need to, but we need to discuss having a defined contribution plan for all new employees that are hired starting in 2028. And so if you're on IPERS today and you retire in 40 years, IPERS is gonna be there for you. We're not taking anything away.
Yeah, that's,
We're just saying that moving forward, at some point in time, we can't continue to have a program that the employer puts in 9.68%, I think, and the employee puts in, what is it, 6.28, so combined about 16%. And there's no company in the private sector that does 16% match, where, you know, the employee puts in 6 and we, the employer, will put in 10. There's nobody that does that, nobody. And so,
It's unsustainable.
exactly, and the private sector has quit doing pension plans because they said the same thing. Hey, it's unsustainable for us as a private company to pay these pensions out. We need to kind of reverse and put the onus, if you want to say, on the employee, where you put in how much you want to, and then we'll match up to a certain percent. A lot of them is, you know, up to 3, 4, 5% is what employers do anymore, where you put in, might put in 10, the employee puts in 5. And, I mean, state of North Dakota just implemented it. They passed it in their legislature in 2024. So, I mean, there's states that have done it in 2017. There's states that have done it in 2011. So more and more states are moving that direction. And all we're saying is at some point in time, Iowa needs to have that discussion. That's it. That's all we said.
If we're gonna push taxes down, they wanna push property taxes down. These are the things, these are the discussions that have to be.
These are just the discussions, Ty, because when I first started in 1953, it was 3.75% employee, 3.75% employer. Since that time, you can see what the state legislature has done. This is the same state legislature that comes back and says, you need to lower property tax. They raise the employer share, which is us, the county government, which take the money from the taxpayer. And yet they say, you know, you need to be better, and yet they're the ones that are causing the problem. That's the discussion that I think we as local politicians need to have with the state people and say, hey, you guys have caused this. And now you come to us and say, we're gonna take money away from you because you're not running your county properly, when in retrospect, they're not running the state properly and taxing the counties to do it.
Very good. So
exactly.
that'll be an interesting discussion, if that makes it, out of your committee.
Well,
You know,
when we, you know, had the first discussion, there were 10 Republican legislatures that came out with public statements that said, we're not touching IPERS, we're not touching
oh,
IPERS.
we had one local,
Okay. Right,
you know.
and there was one.
You know, though, you bring up the person that contacted you that said they've been here for 40 years. You
It
can't
was
touch my eye.
That was a county sheriff that called me.
But the point being, look at a county sheriff, there is so much mistrust in government because we don't have these conversations out loud. I think that's probably why we have people that will discuss stuff with us when we go out on the street, because they know we're approachable, or at least I assume that. And this is all assumption on my behalf, but because we're open on this and approachable, the rest of government needs to be like that. I mean, obviously, there's closed session stuff that, you know, has litigation. I mean, there's things we can't talk about openly, but most things we can and should, because we're spending everybody's money. Ours, yes, but the whole county's money.
It
Or
seems
the
like
whole
that's a
state.
common denominator where the state doesn't understand local government, it puts more on us and then blames us. And that's just one example of it.
That's
Right.
And I don't know how you get the state to see things from our perspective. of
Put
how
more
it's
people
not
that have
right.
sat in these chairs.
Right, well, it's just like House File 718, you know, they talked about the dirty 30. They allowed that. Those people did not get to levy over the 350 because they just wanted to. They had to go through the process, ask for permission from the state. It was granted. Yeah, so,
And then
yeah,
get
so
labeled
now
a
they're
bad
fixing
name
their
by
own
doing that.
problem, just like this.
But it wasn't willy-nilly, they had their reason, I think it was 5 different ways you could
Right.
go over, but.
Right, but then they're surprised that there are 30 counties levying over, you know, it's like, yeah, don't be surprised. You created it. It was your own
Well, then I even
monster.
take it one step further, those counties that were deemed the dirty 30 those people that chose to go through the process and go over were elected officials. If the
Absolutely.
voting
Oh, yeah.
public didn't like that or didn't see the need for it,
Right,
would have voted them out.
right, exactly,
So it would have self-corrected it.
exactly, yeah. No,
But if they're really good,
Vicious
they
circle.
could just, you
Good
know,
discussion. Thanks.
and get down, yeah.
yeah, that'll
I
be
mean,
interesting next week.
as one who does not have vipers, I've always, you know, that's the big sell to being a government employee is because you get favors.
Well, right.
Right.
And we're just trying to be, I guess you hate to, you don't hate you, but I want to use the word fair, is that what it was initially brought up as to the reason that we have such good benefits. I mean, the health insurance for public employees is usually far better than it is in the private sector as far as the amount of deductible that you have. I mean, for me, I mean, I just personally, I had my shoulder surgery this year. My deductible is $6,500. It's gonna cost me $6,500. And, but that's okay because that's the plan that we chose. But a lot of times the public sector plans, the maximum deductible, I think for state employees is like $250 to $500.
Yes,
And the state's paying 70 to 80% of the premium. And then they're putting the IPERS on top of it, and that doesn't compare at all to the private sector. And their argument is always, well, we need to get good people. And yet we see the salaries are going up to match the salaries in the private sector, and yet the benefit plan continues to be far better than what the private sector is. And so it used to be that, hey, we need to offer this benefit package in order to get the people because our salaries are so much lower. And that's
Right.
not the case anymore.
not the case
Not really.
anymore. The
Not at all.
salaries are,
Because we're competing, we're all competing with each other for good employees. And certainly when you're, when you're the public that's paying the taxes and you come up to the courthouse to do something, you want to have competent people that do what you want to have done. And so we have to hire good people to do that. And then we're in competition. So it's a never ending circle and cycle that you go through, and to find a happy medium, that's hard. That's hard.
getting harder.
It's getting harder. It's getting harder.
Now, you said you didn't have much last week.
Well, right,
This is next
we
week.
had,
We haven't even got to this yet.
I mean, our little committee, we had 2 Doge meetings last week. We got one tomorrow morning, our last committee meeting, where we get the final report to read through it for Monday's recommendation to the governor. And so I put in a lot, it's been a lot of time, that
What's your committee called?
return on investment.
Okay,
ROI.
Awesome.
And it's just the ROI, workforce and IT. And I'm really looking for some positive things, and I've read through some of it on the IT side of it, because there's things moving forward that we as a government need to utilize IT to make things, as far as the return on investment, a lot better, because we can see that how things have progressed. We're not, how government was when I would, pull out the minutes from the 1880s or the 1910s and read them about townships and the constables and, the people representing every township, because people couldn't travel to the courthouse because they were on, horseback. And so it was a chore to go to the courthouse and back if you were 15 miles away.
yeah.
So a lot of stuff was run through the townships, and they had justice of the peaces, and they had district court would come to the townships. And all that's changed because we had cars, and now we got electricity, now we have computers. How much of this stuff moving forward will all be done on an Amazon type thing where they don't even, I got face recognition.
Yeah.
All this stuff is changing before our eyes, no pun intended, I guess, but AI, how all that is gonna make us hopefully run a lot more efficiently than what we've done in the past. So our 99 counties in 50 years, is that efficient government to have 99 courthouses do it? I don't know. It's,
Don't
you
use our
need to have
townships
a
like we
discussion. We don't use the townships like we used to. Will we eventually not do the counties like these, because everything, you can just go online and do. What do I need to go to the courthouse?
You're
I can just go
exactly right.
online, get it all done. I can pay my taxes, I can renew my driver's license.
You know, it's a lot of
Can't
times
vote.
it's the nostalgia.
What's
Not
that?
yet, can't vote,
You
Yeah.
can't, right,
not yet.
I hope
anyway.
that-
I don't know that
I don't
you'll
know
do
that
away
that
with
will ever happen.
every aspect, because you'll still have to, you know, like your secondary roads. I mean, you're literally gonna maintain 99 of them, not the road departments. So there's still gonna be reason for at least.
there's, I mean, I'll just tell you, there was discussion amongst us, which I was not in favor of, but have DOT do the whole thing. Do we need secondary?
Oh, my God.
Oh, Lord.
Fine, I can show you.
Like I said, that's the discussions, you need to have those discussions. I was not in favor of that, I was.
And I'll take you back to what I.
Because
talked
there's
about.
still local control, who knows the local roads better
And that's
than the
what I-
local people that are here, in my opinion.
Well, that's where I'll take you back to trust. Do you trust our secondary roads, or do you trust the DOT?
Oh, my gosh.
Right.
And I think that comes down probably to every department. Yeah, do you put all that trust locally, which I would,
You could never talk to a human being if
Yeah.
you went that
I mean,
route.
you
It
need
would
to
be press 1, press 2, press 3, then you've got an emergency practically.
I mean, I had the
Some of
discussion,
these hurdles were crossed when they started closing local township offices down.
Oh, sure, you're right, Cal. That's a good point.
I would honestly could argue for the other way, like we've talked with behavioral health and things that are like our regions. Give the money back to the local city and counties per capita and let us figure out how to run behavioral health, what we need best for our people and take the top, get rid of the top-down approach and give it from the bottom up. But that creates more individuals.
I mean, it used to be that the state never contributed to that at all, it was all in the county to do that for your own county citizens.
I will bring out a point on that, though, that I've actually had this discussion on the public health thing, different things like that. We're a poor county. When you consider it, now we're not as poor as some of the 6,000 people counties. But then they get neglected so much because of the tax. You can't help pay for some of the amending, and so you lose more people to the cities, the larger urban centers.
Well, the problem is all the strings that come attached to it.
Yeah. I agree.
Here's your money for
I'm
public
just saying,
health.
there's your,
behavioral health,
there's your.
But don't tell us
Right.
what we have to do or can't,
And Iowa's a unique state in that the growth in population is all in the urban areas. It's not in the rural areas. So with those counties that are 6,000 are gonna be 5,000 and they're gonna be 4,000. We have some 4,000 counties and then they're gonna be 3,000 and 2,000. And is the onus on those taxpayers, those small counties to support the system that is the courthouse and all that? Pretty soon you're gonna have a huge disparity in the tax rates because we have to try to support this from a county level when we don't have the citizens. So I mean, I think it's good discussions that the state needs to have at a state level. That I think the governor told us the first time that really this hasn't been discussed since the late 70s. Nobody's been talking about it. And it needs to be talked about. Just that, hey, I think sometimes it goes back to, well, like Dave said, as far as local control, is that if we as a county are only 2,000 people, but we want to have the courthouse, we want to have the Department of Motor Vehicle, and we're willing to pay the higher tax just to have that service, then they should have the ability to do that.
Look at the little school district of Whiting, Iowa. They
Exactly.
stepped up and they've kept that thing funded for how many years?
Right. Because they chose to.
Because they chose to.
Yeah. I don't want to be dictated to if we choose to do that. So there's some argument for that,
I'd
but
be curious to see what comes out of it. Just how long do you think that's gonna
I hope it
take
stays
for
positive.
us
it's,
to?
it's,
Gonna
it's,
get negative.
it's gonna take years.
Years?
I mean, it'll be interesting to see what recommendations, I guess, that the DOJ committee comes out with, and if there's any of those that the legislature feels like they're wanting to take on in a year when our governor is stepping away. We're gonna have a competitive governor's race. I think it's gonna be very competitive. And do they want to bring that up? I don't know.
Oh.
I think making a better Iowa needs to be on the top of the agenda. And these are some of the things.
But
that'll
I
be
think
part of
even in
making
the
a better Iowa.
Republican Party, it's gonna be, You know, the governor, I think, is gonna put forth some things because she wants to go out having accomplished some things.
Yeah.
But is the legislature gonna back her when she's basically a lame duck? She's not coming back. Do I wanna support this when it's controversial and maybe I'll have someone run against me in my district? You know how politicians are, politics is, and sometimes it's like, man, just do the right thing.
Isn't it interesting
You
how
know,
people have been able to come out against her since she has said that she wasn't running?
Right,
Just think about that.
yeah. In her own part.
And that's what I meant.
Yeah.
I'm glad you're a
So
part of that.
interesting, so I just wanted to, I guess, I didn't even take up that.
Well,
much
I'm
time.
glad you're a part of it, so we kind of have the inside track a little bit. Otherwise, here in Crawford County, there'd be little said about it. We would be knowing what's all going on. So I'm glad you're,
Well, it's nice to know that small town Iowa is part of the committee. That's what's nice.
yeah.
Right.
You got a common sense person up there.
I mean, on our committee specifically, I mean, we have Nick Babish from Carroll County, lives in Carroll County, runs the ethanol plant down in Atlantic. And a wonderful young guy that's really, really smart. Our chairman is Terry Lutz, who was mayor in Fort Dodge many years ago. He heads up the engineering firm out of Des Moines. We have Mark Campbell, who runs a restaurant in the Fort Dodge area, who was also, yeah, you know Mark, who was a Webster County on the board of supervisors and actually on ISEC.
Yep.
Through the election.
And so we have some really good
Family guy
people
meeting.
that's on our committee that have a diverse background. That's
Yeah.
really what we want to see is, you know, people that are, most of the people are in the private sector, to be honest with you. I mean, there was only two people that, I guess now we have, me and Mark are the only two that's been previously elected, but Renee, she was county auditor in Dallas County. She since had to step away because her parents are going through some health issues. She would take care of that. But, so it's there's not a lot of public people on there, which is, I think, what they wanted the committee to be,
Yeah.
more private sector,
Absolutely.
which is, you know, I'm very limited in my public or political background, and that's what they wanted in a supervisor, someone that hadn't served a long time, that's not ingrained, and this is the way it has to be, that comes from the private sector. So I mean, that's kind of where I came from.
Good
But
job.
anyway, that's it. I'll let you know how it goes, and then I was just warning you because it'll probably be
Should
in
we
the
call the
press next
National Guard to
Tuesday.
protect your house?
I look forward to it.
Thanks, Craig.
All right.
Yeah.
I'll make it quick. I had state ECI meeting last Friday. A lot of our conversation was around redistricting. There's still a push to go to 7 districts, very much like behavioral health. A lot of pushback from our directors, got a lot of public comments against it. I feel like this is a push, it's so identical. Talked to Amanda Winslow, our ECI state director. She said that 34 areas, they're all over the board and we need to get more guardrails up and can't control what each one's doing. I said, well, that's the give and take, you know, each area may see value in other things that other areas don't because we're not all the same.
No cookie cutter approach.
It so much the argument that Director Garcia gave us for behavioral
I
health.
remember it well.
One board member, Dave Aarons, I thought he had a good point. Cause she's saying 34 areas we can't manage. And he said, well, it sounds like it's not more of a state management issue than it is the areas themselves. The two of us, we spoke about any change would be more positive from grounds up, working with the areas we have versus just dictating one fell swoop of, here's your new 7 districts.
I'll figure it out.
Right. However, we'll have another meeting coming up to discuss more of that. I get part of it, you know, they wanna try to systemize all of ECI and make it better for the state of Iowa, know where to contact people. But I also think it's very, very valuable not to lose that local input, engagement, what's going on, decision-making.
What do they say is wrong with the system now? What do they need to fix? What exactly?
So part of it, they're saying we're missing out on state, federal money because we can't,
That just comes with more, red tape.
right? Because not all areas would want to sign up for those grants, this or that, and that we're missing out on money because I don't know if I truly believe that.
I don't think that.
Part of it was, which I told Amanda Winslow, she said, well, like, for example, Carroll area was hiring an outside source to do their child resource and referral. They were spending like $90,000. I said, well, I know Cindy Durkoff, and my wife's actually on that board. The reason they did that is because they're getting more bang for their buck for the local contract than what CCR&R was providing. And that's the beauty of your local control,
There you go.
that you can pick and choose what works best for your area. So I still feel like this is a big struggle between what HHS is wanting to push their agenda versus the established ECI that, you know, pushing back
I say
very,
pushback.
very much like behavioral health.
Pushback.
And I had a number of legislators reach out to me, saying, what's going on here? Senator Winkler called me, she's our ex officio on the board. She said, we didn't even pass this at the state to tell you to change. Why are you changing? My thing I brought up, I said, even if we did make a change, that's not saying that the state could come in and completely revamp or change it anyways. So you start a process of changing and then be dictated by the state, your new change, and totally have to punt and start all over. But there's this argument from a few that, well, we need to do it preemptively so that we're in good compliance, so when the state does change. Like, so, well, we don't know what that change could be anyways.
Have we not learned anything?
But it's interesting because it seems like
Again, you were just getting rolling with the other.
the people that have been on the ground in local county government, city government, local ECIs recognize how things have gone and kind of maybe pattern of like what had happened with HHS behavioral health and saying, wait a second, this didn't quite turn out the best for them. We're still up in the air whether that was a better change and go through all this, especially since the state didn't pass any legislation. Maybe we could just make things better by working more directly with the areas we have. And then until we're actually told, here's your new direction. But like I said, it's still in discussion stages. We have another meeting coming up to see what else will be brought about with this, but there is definitely,
I guess not speaking on that direct matter, but one thing that came up in our Doge committee is that if the state wants to dictate how many areas or sections or how many districts we're gonna have in the state, for HHS, we're gonna have 7. And if we're gonna do something else for another government agency, can we just make all of them the same? Can we just, if we're gonna have 7, can we have it so that all 7 include the exact same counties every time that they come out with this? Can it just be the same? And I don't wanna say it's amazing, but people, when we have that discussion from the state government that are in our meetings are like, it's like, it's a concept that they haven't, that they haven't thought of. And they're like, that's a really good idea. I'm shocked that that's a really good idea because it seems like,
Common sense.
right, the common sense seems like it would tell you that if the state's gonna do this, let's make it all the same. So if I live in Crawford County, I know exactly, no matter which agency I'm dealing with,
Right.
where my district office is or where it is, no matter what. But
well, and part of the problem, Craig, too, like you mentioned earlier, who's causing the problem? Some of it was, well,
right,
some of these ECI areas are slow on
I
getting
agree.
contracts and doing this and that. Well, some of them haven't signed contracts because they don't know what's up in the air. They hate to sign a contract for a service and then have that money pulled or you redistrict, and it's like, So they're dragging their feet to see what happens to know the direction, but yet now some people are complaining that you're not doing what you're supposed to. Well, you slowed the process up from up here.
But
Uh,
if we're not broken, why are they trying to fix?
that was brought up as well. So I guess more will come of that. The discussion's definitely not over.
Definitely,
And we will,
but it doesn't matter how many meetings you have and how much pushback, it'll be what it's gonna be.
well, and some of it, even like you talk about county services, to me, 2080s and using some of those stuff. We were brought up, you know, we have 34 different ECI boards, areas. Let them figure out if they're a southern tier county and can't provide it like you were talking. Let them direct that conversation to, hey, maybe we should partner up with another ECI to share a service.
Yeah.
Right, and part of our discussion was the state should incentivize that. They should give some of the money to those counties that want to do that. The state should say, we want to encourage it. If you do this, here's what we will pay you to do that. Because it's gonna lower property tax for the people. And when we get state money, that's not property tax.
And not make you have
But-
to go outside of your region for a service that you could always get.
I think it's bigger
You're
than
right,
just.
2080 is a vital tool that needs to be
It's
better.
been
Well,
working
for
for
state
years.
ECI, to me, there's even a bigger underlying issue of, it's not, I mean, providing the service to the people that need them, of course, is on everybody's forefront. But there's one, it was brought up, do we even have authority as state ECI board to make this change without legislation? Under code, it says for, what is it, exceptional reason, you can change districts. Well, do we have exceptional reason not to come, I mean, if you just come in and full, I mean, there's some issues there, and then even it was brought up, you know, to make this change to 7 districts. However, it changes our board structure, whatever happens, are we giving up our authority as a state board just for HHS to come in and then dictate any narrative or anything policy they want without our input? Come back to how we're advisors at behavioral health, well, all under disguise of, well, it's better for the services we provide. Well, is it not? Are we just handing over authority to HHS redistricting? Well, we don't want to lose that either, you know, we want the local input and engagement. Every area is different.
Where has it been proven that this is gonna be better?
How it has to be.
Yeah, all right, there we go.
But anyways, so more to come.
I really didn't have any this week.
Okay.
It was a slow week.
Ty, did you have much?
Actually, no.
There we
Good
go.
job, guys.
Here
Okay.
No
All right.
pressure on Ty.
We got Ben here.
Yes,
Good
Ben.
All right, that worked out great.
Have at it. Ben.
Great discussion.
Good morning.
There was a good discussion. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
So quick shot of rain this morning, huh?
Yeah, just,
In town here, I guess, and I could, wasn't very
Well,
widespread, but
Dust settler,
it was
hopefully.
weird how it,
maybe.
Well, first thing, just update on the bridge over there in Vale there, well, what they're gonna be doing there is just forming the deck here, they probably got a couple weeks worth of forming to do on that before, and get ready for their deck pour, and then, so really not much,
What do you think completion date will be? Roughly, what do you think completion date will be?
I
This
feel
year.
they're gonna use every one of their working days, and let's,
And that would get us to, what's the date?
let's see, they got 45 working days left, that would put us sometime in November.
Okay, okay.
That's my, I
This year.
speculate, but, you know, they got a lot of work to do yet, deck pour, they got form up the deck first, got deck pour, they got the approach slabs to do a lot of dirt work, after that's complete, my opinion is they're gonna utilize the working days they have. They've requested for 4 additional working days for the additional work that they ran into digging the piers. So they'll have 4 days on top of that, which is
So when
reasonable
those
considering what they
companies-
ran into.
When they request that, do you just grant that or Who grants that?
Request that as
They
a change
request
order
it.
to They, when they run into additional work that wasn't really in the
Right,
contract,
right.
they requested to us.
When you say us, meaning you specifically or
Correct, yes.
to the county engineer? Or the county engineer either grants it or says.
I
yeah,
review
you're
what
right, we didn't
additional work
proceed at
they,
issue.
they ran into, agreed, yes, this was atypical from,
Right.
what would have been expected of you, and we agree with the additional time that they said they incurred on the site. And, that's a decision I made, collaborating with the, district materials, on what is typical, you know, for if they run into additional, is that typical to grant them that? And yes, it is. It's, not only the additional, you know, working days that they lost because they had run into, you know, some, well,
There's certain- we know
there's certain that they weren't anticipating.
Unforeseen things that happen, so. blame the
There
business.
are, but, and that was, you know, not a natural state. It was an existing structure that they weren't anticipating. It's not, uncommon for them to request a little bit of additional time for running into what was not specified as existing in the plans. So, but yeah, I think there's 4 days.
4 days.
Is, what they're talking the next one.
So this
But
year, this year. Should be done this year.
Yes, this year. But yeah, would have loved to have seen it completed before harvest started. I'm sure everybody would have, they do
They
have
lost some.
working days though, that they're able to.
These bridges aren't a small project, though, that's what people gotta understand. I mean, look what happened at the Ricketts, you know. Obviously, there were some mistakes made in that one, but. I mean, when we're doing a big concrete bridge, we kind of like for it to last another 100 years, you know, so do it right, please. It's on my hands.
And I'm very happy with the work they've been doing. They,
I
like I
stopped
said,
over there and looked
it's,
yesterday.
you know, it's, they're gonna use the work days, but the work is going well. They haven't run into really any issues aside from what we've run into digging, you know, the pier sections, but got around that. That really, it's looking good. Beams, I said, we shot all of our elevations on the beams to be able to give them their haunch elevations for being able to form the deck. All looks within tolerances of being able to do so. All going very well, in my opinion, anyways. And that kind of highlights, our technicians out there, Brad and Casey, yeah, that's where their value really comes into play out there, shooting the beam haunches. We do all the construction survey on that, so we're over there, you know, shooting the top of beams, getting that off to our designers, getting their haunch elevations for them to be able to do the decking. That's all stuff that we would have to hire out should we not have that capability in-house, which we do. And, so it's, to their credit, that's where they really shine on projects like this. It's not, you know, some guys don't have survey capabilities, so and a lot of that just gets ironed out, so.
Nice.
Very happy with the work there, yeah, so. But that's where they're at, they're forming the deck, and, like I said, I'm sure they're every bit into the 45 remaining days on the project, so. Our crews, great crew, they're working up on JF, just getting a start on there this week, so. They'll be up there quite good, they got a few weeks up in that direction, we'll make sure that what they put on the road is getting compacted in and rolled in, and, I know there was, down the Buck Road, south of Buck Road there, there's some concern, a little bit of soft conditions on that road, the loose gravel, I have harvest here, we're probably gonna get some more material on there with a little bit of fines, hopefully this rain hit it a little bit, get it backed in there a little bit, but, we'll keep working on that road, getting it stiffened up a little bit, hopefully. But yeah, we want up here on JFD, we'll want to make sure we're getting it rolled in good, and everything compacted, especially this time of year, late in the season. Make sure whatever's going on is being placed ready, so. And then, bridge crew, they're down there on, still putting in some pipes down on 200th Street. They'll finish up this week on one of them. They'll work, they'll get the second one in next week, and then they're gonna head over to I Avenue. I talked to, our pipe supplier, I believe, possibly as early as next week. He said possibly being able to see some of our twin, 108-inch diameter pipes where we have that plate failure there. We're gonna start getting that site shaped up in anticipation of that pipe starting to come in, and, he said we're probably 2 weeks out on the material coming in, but, we got a lot of site work we can do and maybe start setting some sections depending on which ones come in first, so. Hopefully see some of that coming in possibly next week. Then they'll be working on that probably a good 3 weeks, getting that in. Hopefully first part of October, having that completed, folks out there, hopefully able to get around on the dirt roads, see how the weather cooperates, and then, towards the end of harvest, being able to be using that, so. Roadside crew, they're out mowing and seeding behind the grade crew there down Buck Grove, South Buck Grove, where we just graded there, and seeding in areas where the other crews have been ditching, so busy, but good to see the mowing getting done. That helps them with their working the shoulders. I know we've been getting aggressive on that, where we've been having some edge ruts and trying to get that burn off the edge of the roads there, so. And having it mowed down helps a lot for that, so. Highway 30 closure, I talked to, DOT on that, basically just inquiring about the dust control, possible again in front of the residences, which we are gonna do, in front of the residences one more time here this week. He's, as far as time frame, again, I hate to comment on, other people's projects, but he did say end of the month, they should be completed with
Did the month.
Highway 30. So hopefully 2-3 weeks, we're looking at completion.
No.
I don't wanna, again, I don't want your time to think about other people's projects, because
I
it
know.
feels like I've said that
I know.
a number of times.
I feel that.
We can just use the October 1 is what we should work on. Yeah,
Right.
Hope for it.
hope for, there you go, hope for, thanks, Ty. Yes.
Drove that road again yesterday.
But just to give a bit of an update, on what I'm hearing anyway, so.
Until the next.
All right, yeah.
And then, like I said, after that's completed, talk with David there, that 210th Street, it took kind of a bit of abuse, but I don't think we're looking at doing a whole lot of shaping on that this fall. We don't really want to disrupt what's there. It's really a decent road, it just got widened out. We got to dig out where a culvert is, where it got mashed around it, but, we're kind of gonna leave the road as is, for
Over the
season, over the winter. Don't want to really disrupt things that this
Make a bunch of
stage
soft
is getting. Right. And really, I'm kind of curious to see with all the dust control that went down, how it affects the, in the winter conditions, whether or not it'll have any effect. I don't think it will, create soft spots. I think it dissipates pretty good from all that traffic, but we'll see.
I hope not.
It's dusty though.
If it does, then we'll, may not have enough rock in the county if it does.
Yeah.
Yeah, and we, touch on that, I know it's not on, but, basically let our limestone suppliers, they'll get our yard full. And get down our limestone piles out from all the, what we've been using over the summer, and I know this time of year, before Thanksgiving-ish time frame, we want our piles full with our limestone, that way, not coming into next year, shorthanded there.
Yeah, good idea. Have them full come spring.
Do we ever rail into Manila?
Not that I'm aware
We talked about that,
Rail,
rail into Manila.
I'm there at the new spot.
Something to look into. When there's a rail line that goes past, we own some ground, we
Who
could
owns that rail in Manila?
Burlington North.
Is that Bert BN?
Mhm.
of. I guess I don't know where it starts, what goes
Maybe
across.
see another access to have a rail spur dump rock.
Like you're right, we got the property right there, the railroad goes next to it.
Something to check into,
Will you check with,
check into that.
check into?
Talk with the railroad.
Yeah, good luck.
What's the rail company that delivers currently?
CN,
See ya.
CN,
Okay,
delivers their town.
right.
And then also you'd probably want to talk to Pitt up there in Fort Dodge. They might have the CN pulls out that pit.
Right.
I mean, it might have, I don't know,
Really,
really,
we
it
don't-
would have to come somewhere else, but who knows? Martin Marietta might own a pit somewhere else, but we can.
Maybe I come on Fort Calhoun, perhaps
Oh, we don't want none of that.
soft.
Wet, pay for a lot of water. That's what I've got from that. Over there in the other counties that are using it. Carefully.
Maybe there's a connecting point where you see and you pull out
It's down deeper, so it's into the water.
Burlington.
What's the Arcadia limestone company?
That's just a private.
That comes out in Fort Dodge. Most of it.
I'm sure it does.
What do they do? What, do they sell it to
There's
just
my-
private people? To just private?
Yeah, they do lime and stone and all, they've been around forever. They used to be on the other side of the highway.
Right,
They bought that.
but no county buys stuff from them.
Oh, I don't think.
It
Carol,
would be the middle.
Yeah, they're a middle guy there.
Or markup.
private provider. I think that would be the two things you gotta talk to is the rail line that runs through there and then if they're capable of getting product out of Mark Marriott at Fort Dodge.
I'll have to do a little bit of research on that, and it really, if it's dealing with railroad, even what comes into 10th Street Yard here, we simply, contact Railroad and say, we want to get her here. They're the ones that deal with the railroad to get her here. So
Maybe that's what
we
you
don't interact with the railroad per se, but we can
Like a
certainly,
broker.
certainly, inquire as to whether that's even a possibility, and how we would be able to do so.
I don't even know for sure where
I'll
that.
do a little bit of research on that.
Getting a motorcycle out, follow.
Dirt bike out.
Okay.
I know we got 10 o'clock, this deal here, so I'll jump into it on the next things here, but, this week do a little bit of shouldering, on the paved roads, get the shoulders in place before harvest here, and a lot, but don't want a lot of wheels on the equipment and getting off the road, and that's, so we're getting them shaped up. A lot of it's coming in, they got the retriever hooked up and the disc on there to the motor and bringing that material and actually getting a slope to it and getting it up to the pavement to where we're not having a whole lot of additional material out there. There is some areas where we got ruts, we got them, but a lot of it's getting shaped up with the retriever. Got on it, so it's looking good. I know there was mention last week of possible some fleet tracking, of our greater operations. And it's something that I'll probably be looking into a little bit. It's something that didn't want to kind of, shut the door on. I do think there's a place for some sort of fleet tracking software on especially our motor grader fleet. I know our way of keeping track of where we've been is a bit rude it works, but it is probably something that we should probably be looking at updating, look at our system of tracking. I like that system. I haven't seen one that I really like yet, but I'd like to be looking at a system that's very easy to use. That doesn't require a lot of input by the guys out there because really any system you get is only gonna be as good as the information that goes into it. And unless everybody's on the same page, putting the information in, not saying it won't get done correctly, but just want to eliminate that step. And I think there's a program out there that would be beneficial. Again, cost. Yeah, I know it's always a cost, probably annual subscription sort of thing, but something I'm gonna be looking into a little bit, especially with that and our cameras on, at least our, when there's trucks, kind of incorporating all that in one system, so.
I just think with the way that Life 360 works, where you can actually follow your kids or your grandkids, how fast they're going, when they get out, I think that, and that doesn't really cost anything, you can track them for free.
Sean, there's that, it tracks everywhere he's been with an ATV,
Yeah.
something very simple like that,
Yeah,
just, recording what you did for the day, being able to have a printout. how to incorporate that, maybe put that on our website, I'd have to explore that, you know, people can go out there and see, so.
See what other counties are using.
Yep, yep.
That's the first.
And that's, the next thing, the Iowa Streets and Roads Conference. Not sure if I'll be slipping down to that, I know the foreman will all go to that, you know, there'll be some of that kind of vendors, fleet management, stuff there, that have some information. I may slip down there to be able to talk to the vendors. I'm not signed up for the conference per se, but, I can certainly talk to some of them. So
An annual event?
It is, it's a great event for the foreman and anybody in the supervisory managerial roles. It gives them a lot of tools, to be able to, you know, conflict, resolvement, like, it's a good one for anybody out, you know, that's got people under them and how to manage their.
And the foremans usually attend every year?
They do.
Usually go? Good.
All, most of the foremen always pick it up. And, not sure if that was one that, Paul went down to. I know I've been down to it before, but, I believe once, when, I think, the bridge crew, had a award for the building better mousetrap, deal for put riprap underneath the bridge and an arm, attached to an excavator that put us, they're being recognized for their innovative.
Okay, yeah, I remember that.
So,
Yeah.
but, it's a good program for the foreman to go to every year.
Good.
And I may try to slip down there as well to visit with some of the vendors and, see how some of the other counties act. Last thing,
Ask them vendors what counties are using their stuff so you can check with them, see if they like it.
I always ask that.
Well,
There's
just
a
making
lot
sure.
of salesmen, and the first thing I ask is, what counties are using it? Who can I talk to, see how they like it? So, I definitely want to see any kind of program that we're going to use it firsthand, and what kind of results it gives them. Annual report, just about, be with that, doing off better. It just summarizes kind of what the activity was for last year that we sent off to the DOT for construction versus maintenance, our equipment, fleet, you know, and, I'll print off a copy here, that's due next Monday, I believe on the 15th, of the DOT. So we have the annual report in the fall. And then, my program and budget is due in April 15th, I do believe. And, so it kind of ties in closely with that, state what this program. So got to do things a little backwards when I did, you know, but, because I didn't do the budget last year, but, this all plays together with that, so. But yes, I'll print off a copy of the annual report to show all of you as well, so.
Thank you.
That's what I got for you.
Thank you.
Made it.
Just in time.
There it is, 9:58, so it's away from our 10 a.m. Good job, Dan. Like you
Time.
timed it.
So working out today.
Yeah, yep, curious now, red. I don't really
Good idea.
thought.
Yeah.
That is a good idea.
Or who does bring product in, they do stop, for anything, grain, do they?
Landis Co-op uses them for grain. They might be I don't even need a contact number, but Deb Fender down at Vanilla might have a contact number for you.
I'll let you read that. Somebody.
Probably have to
did some
build our
research
little
on,
spur.
Probably.
Shelby County.
Oh, how much
That
that
takes
costs?
responsibility.
Sure ain't free.
Well, there's even up here, you know, it's some bell loggers. Nothing crazy fancy.
Somebody
I'll
told
reach out to Chris.
somebody reaching, doing research. Well, thank you, Cindy.
10 o'clock, okay.
Make a motion to open the public hearing in regards to the reclassification of Anna Avenue between 120th and 130th.
We have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? All in favor, say aye. All right. Chair votes aye. We are in public hearing. And we have nobody here. Ellen, are we commissioners here? You have any thoughts on our reclassification?
Roads, of a certain road.
I'm a little wide.
Nobody wrote anything in.
No verbal, no written.
No.
What went on, do?
I think we got, one landowner that's highly in favor of it, so.
He is very financially supportive of it as well. It's
They agreed to pay for the upgrade,
of course, we maintain it from there, but,
Yeah, he signed the agreement,
yep.
Well, if we have no written, oral, or in-person comments,
we got the one written agreement that is in favor of it, so I would suggest that we support it. Board.
I think
I
it
agree.
makes sense, and Avenue is a very traveled road, it provides a pretty good, route, basically from Denison to, or not east from, Inwood Road all the way to the west part of the county, gravel surface, so it's one of the main routes that I'd say a lot of the, rural residents take in that neighborhood, so, and I don't, like I said, the gentleman that's, wanted to upgrade it, he strongly in favor of doing it, so he, it's quite a distance around the section for him to go around when the weather, renders, the dirt road as it is right now impassable, so, I feel it makes sense.
All right. Very good.
So it's a one by, just that was reclassified, right? 1 mile, yeah, 20, 30.
I'm sorry, this is resolution, it does describe it, it's the 1 mile and avenue between 120th and 130th, like section 9.
Well, I'll move that we close the public hearing.
thank you.
I'll second
I have
that.
a motion. Second, any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Right,
Chair votes aye. We're out of public hearing. On to discuss, take action, resolution 2025-34 related to reclassification.
I believe we have discussed it. So I would make a motion that we approve the resolution.
I'll second that.
Motion by Gene, second by Kyle. Further discussion? I think it'd be good to have done. So all in favor, say aye.
We have its resolution.
Oh, Russ, thank you. Kyle,
All right,
Craig,
Aye.
Gene,
Aye.
Ty.
Abstain.
Okay, chair votes aye. Resolution passes.
This is the resolution.
That's it.
Yeah, that like bracketing.
Right.
We'll email you a copy of that, is that okay?
Pardon?
We'll email you a copy of the resolution.
Sure.
Thanks, man.
Thank you very
Thanks,
much.
Dan.
Sure. Have a great
Thanks,
day.
Dan.
You too.
Hi there. I did not.
It's, we're all getting better. We're still working in progress.
Randy's out there. Morning, Randy.
Morning, Andy.
Morning, Randy.
There's a copy of.
Yeah, please. So what has changed with this since you sent me that?
A few words, we do have the old ones, we can kind of compare.
Can I see that back?
Yeah.
Okay.
just basically,
Wording of it.
The wording, there were some leash concerns for hunters and things like that, under control of your dog.
people walking, a lot of concerns about, how it gets implemented, with the concern and the sheriff goes out, how that all.
Broaden it to not just dogs, but a number of animals that could be vicious.
Yeah, so I think we hit all the boxes. I think we tried really hard to look at your particular circumstance to make sure that if that happens again, we do have teeth that would allow us to take care of animals.
We had,
vicious animals.
we had 3 different public hearings on it,
Yep.
and I kind of tweaked it according to comment input throughout the public hearing.
And you had sent me that text, we brought that into it also, so, yeah, I think it covers all of them.
Okay.
I'm hoping.
Okay.
The good news
And to
is,
make it fair, I think
Right.
between Denison, our largest populous city in the county,
right,
if you're walking your dog in the city limits and then you walk it outside of the city limits in an unincorporated area, are those rules basically the same?
And how did that turn out?
That kind of went back to the leash law a little bit, so if you're walking your dog, you don't need a leash
Right.
in the city limits, but yet you do in the unincorporated areas, where we took the leash deal.
As long as you
In
can
control,
Your
command.
control of your dog.
if you have a hunting dog that comes back on command, but you should have the leash with you just in case there's a situation where, the control is the word that we tried to use, that you have control of your dog, whether it's verbal or,
With
the leash.
So that's kind of an issue I thought about too. Where does that leave me? Which I've really never had that issue with hunters and their dogs.
Right.
With their dogs loose running around the place.
Right, looking for
And-
pheasants.
Yeah, and then run onto my yard
Right,
when
right.
gee, are these pheasants? Are these chickens?
Yeah, I
So
know.
I
that's,
understand that, right? Good
Yeah.
point. Good
you know,
point.
but I have never had that issue.
Okay.
I'm not saying that it can't happen, but,
Well, hunting dogs, our hunting dog, when you say no.
yeah, I think most
he
of
gets it.
them are probably well trained at that.
But you got that one.
I'm sure there are.
But that's
some-
why it has to be within control of command or Indian.
Right.
You
Yeah.
can't have a hunting dog just running 5 miles away from a hunter and him saying, oh, I had it in command.
Yeah.
But we thought it was important too, we really were glad that you came and brought it to our attention so that when people do call in, the answer is, oh, we don't have anything. We now officially have a document in place that.
Yeah, you don't know how much that irritated.
I know.
That.
We weren't aware of that.
And then there's some teeth in it in the back as
Right.
far as what would happen if they're in violation.
Right.
As
As far
a
as,
section.
Maybe the next page. There's 2 different ways that they can be in violation.
A county civil infraction under Iowa Code
Yeah.
331.302, subject to civil penalties up to $750 for first
Okay,
offense,
so-
1,000 for repeat offenses.
Section 12.
Section 12, yes. I'm sorry, yes.
That's in accordance with Iowa codes. We shouldn't have anybody being able to challenge that.
we went through the full 3 readings to make sure, and we made little tweaks every time, had.
And we have a county attorney that will enforce it.
Yeah,
And that's the key.
there's the other
Hard
part.
to have.
There's the other part.
That's the key, because you
Yeah.
talked to us about that. Randy.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I talked to him multiple.
Yeah, he
times.
actually worked very closely with us on that.
Very closely.
Good.
I mean, I will let the board know, because I don't think I brought it up before, but I have had a couple of people contact me that live in small communities.
Oh, yeah,
That maybe they're city government and they don't have really the law enforcement in those areas that they say,
Yeah.
can this take effect or have
Right.
precedence over our city? And I'm like, no. it doesn't.
Kyron was one of them.
You're an
Yeah.
incorporated area. Your rules are your rules. This is just for unincorporated areas within the county.
I'm not saying they couldn't adopt our.
They could
Format.
and I
certainly
would
they could.
recommend that
You're
they
right.
do, because in those smaller communities, a lot of people, so dogs run around and you just,
So a lot of them have the sheriff actually as their protection too, so I mean, they.
That's what I told them, to contact the county sheriff and have them
Right.
implement and enforce their cities. If they have an animal
But-
control ordinance whatever that may be. I don't know what each.
Which is what I was trying to do for 10+ years, was I was contacting the county sheriff.
But that's, I was just gonna say, Randy, regardless, this is only as good as the enforcement, so I
Right.
think.
Yeah.
We can write anything down on paper, and if you have more problems,
I
come
understand.
back to us. I mean, if it's
Oh,
not
I
good.
will certainly.
Roger was
I
good.
mean,
Yeah.
I mean, we feel terrible that we were unaware of
We
your
do.
problems
We
before, that
absolutely
you
did.
weren't getting a resolution that you were looking for.
I mean, an ordinance is there to protect the law abiding citizens.
I
That's,
can't.
that's who you are.
And Roger came up and was, part of this conversation also, so.
He's aware that
he's
it's in the
aware,
books and.
And,
Yep.
you know,
Okay, good.
we,
Good.
we hope we hit it all, but you know, things can still be.
Yeah, and I'm gonna run over a few questions I had, and I'm
Okay.
if I can read this, but can I take this? Is
Yeah,
it-
that's my copy.
Okay, so let's go to, well, the first question was what I texted you, Gene, was the dogs need to be called off their owner's property for this ordinance.
Right.
And, yeah, like if they are on my property and back to the owner's property by the time law enforcement gets there, what is that situation then?
But
I was just gonna say, if you have proof, meaning you have a
Camera.
camera,
Yeah.
you took a picture,
Oh,
um,
and I know that's tough.
that is tough.
right.
Well, yeah,
That, the camera, I think, is kind of the key because there's just, it's documented. There's no, he said, she said, here's your dog on my property.
with the day right on.
Right,
Right.
right.
So here is an example of what I'm gonna show you, and you can tell me where this would fit in there. If you guys all wanna glance at that, you can throw it around, and I will enlarge that. But it's going, sorry, I need to go.
You are out of
through
snow.
this. It's okay.
Sometimes we-
It's okay.
PM.
Yeah, on that, I don't know when
Date
this,
stamp on that picture.
I don't know when this came into effect, and it doesn't matter at this point, but this is going to probably be an issue again, so, and I will enlarge that so you can, so Dave, you can look at that much, or you can, or why don't you let these two see what I'm saying on that matter?
Yeah.
I was, when this was happening, Dave kind of knows the setup there, I was down on the other end of the yard and I heard vehicles running. And then I heard people talking and I thought it was my niece and her husband and their kids. Okay, so I did not think that much of it. And then I heard a voice and I'm like, okay, that's not what I am, what I think it is. So I went up there and sought to see what was going on there. And they were in my driveway at the very end of the driveway. I don't know if they were on my property or whatever. I couldn't see for evergreens, trees. And you can still enlarge that a little bit farther, but do you see what's going on there? They were down in, and if you look closely, there's one dog in the ditch and each person on the ATV has a dog on their lap. So there were 3 dogs running loose down by my property before, and then they must have got him. So, I mean, this was that close to being another incident. So, with that being said, on my question I just asked, is there anything that can be done with that? Is that an impoundment issue? Because obviously they were
Running with,
not, yeah.
so within 2 seconds, they could run in and. have-
Oh, yeah, they were down, the ATVs were in my, well, I don't know if they were in my driveway or right by the road on my driveway, I couldn't see.
I will tell you, just as an example, in Charter Oak where my shop is, I've got cameras that watch pretty much 360. And my camera out front actually pivots to motion. Now, the sheriff's department, whenever they have some, they'll come and ask if I've got any video of that, and they'll check our video and look at it. And they've got culprits doing things, and they've used that as evidence, so. Since you've actually already had, so I know you don't wanna have to spend a bunch of money, you don't have to get anything as fancy as I got at my truck shop, mind you, but. The, having a camera system that's monitoring, that can record, so that they have evidence. you're helping your law enforcement help you then, basically.
Yeah, I get that. I get that.
You talked about it, where you kind of put.
I did put
You
one, I
did
got
put one
one up, I got another one that I want you. to put
Sadly,
up.
nobody's guilty of a crime until they've actually committed anything. You see what I'm saying? So if you have evidence that they did it, or their dog did it, then you have something to go to Roger with, and Roger has something to come up.
Hard one.
Oh, well, that, I'm not, I think that would be a hard one.
Yeah, just having them out on the road. That'll.
I feel you, I know you're.
I mean, it was that close to being.
Yeah, no.
If it would have been on your property and they've got a history, you know.
Well, they
you
definitely have
got-
a history.
Yeah, I know.
If they had if you had a video of in your property, you know, it's, you know, you
I
heard.
mean, I agree with what you're saying on that, but I just brought this up.
Yeah. So it's
And
showing
I
that.
don't know
still
in
happening.
your minds, but this isn't over with for me.
Oh.
This is just,
I
this
know,
is just
I know.
showing.
Until they're gone and. have them be
Let's
gone.
make that happen. No, but anyway, I just brought this up. I mean, I agree with what you're saying and stuff, and I don't even know if these dogs were on my property. They didn't do any damage. They obviously got them before.
But
Before.
with your past history, it makes you gun shy because you know what they've done.
Absolutely.
Well, once bit, twice
I wonder
shy.
if we could mail a copy of the ordinance to them.
Well, I don't know if he.
But while you say that, I'm gonna go to one of
Okay,
my
here we
other
go.
questions here. Okay, with the garnishment going on, so I did garnish his wages,
Right.
okay?
Yep.
So after I did that, he was down on my property screaming in my face that I was supposed to pay for his dogs, pay his bills, because he could no longer do it. Blah, 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 on my property.
Oh, it's harassment.
Okay, so in that instance, then of course, after he left, I called Rasmussen and talked to him. And I believe he said he was going to call Germer and tell him, which there has been a no trespassing on him for years. Has it ever, anything become of that? No. Okay, so this is not, in my mind, was not only a trespassing, it was,
Harassment.
Harassment.
yes. So Rasmussen told me, he called him and said, you cannot be doing that, which is whatever. But, and that Germer told him that he wasn't aware that no trespassing, law was still in effect.
Oh, my goodness.
I mean, he,
Is it a no contact or a no?
and also a no contact. Rasmussen told me it
No
was
contact, you can get
also,
a lot of trouble for violating.
also Rasmussen told me, I don't know if it's written down, that it was, he contacted him and said the trespassing never goes away unless I would remove it. And the contact, he is to have no contact.
So where's the reinforcement on that? Because it's in place and where's your protection?
Again,
I'm asking a question with a question. That doesn't- Yeah.
I did not have the camera I got set up, would not have gotten this confrontation either. So again,
Is that where, that was just left? then?
You know, something as simple as,
Roger just said he talked to him.
especially in your situation, he probably came up to your doors. Sometimes, you know, just having that ringer on your doorbell. Yeah, what do they call that?
he didn't come to the door. he-
Ring. Yeah. We've got it now, and
We do.
that actually,
got it
that
on my
thing
garage,
actually
I got a
couple of
rings
my
all the time
doors.
on my wife's phone. It
Yeah.
lets her know if you get a cat walk by, sometimes.
Oh,
it
yeah,
gets
it's
a little-
annoying. sometimes.
However, the UPS guy or something like that, you
Yeah,
want to
Lisa
catch them.
comes home.
Yeah, you know,
You do,
there's
you
a
have to
package
sign
on
for
your
a
door.
package
then-
coming. It's
Yeah.
really actually handy. And then something like that. And some of them actually it does the voice too. So you, all the things that he said to you
Yep.
would have been recorded.
Well, I did not.
And that's
have-
pretty cost effective.
Yeah, those are
I would
expensive.
have had my phone recording, had it not been in the house being charged.
Oh, for sure, yeah.
Just
When
something to think
Cause I was down on the yard and I heard him come down the hill with his muffler truck. And he pulled into my driveway and I knew right away, and I could see what it was, I knew what it was. So anyway, on with that thing, I have another question on, what do you think after I just told you what he did with the garnishment, what do you think he's gonna do if I shoot any of those dogs?
Right, protecting their.
Yeah, if they're down there or killing my stuff and I shoot them, what do you think he's gonna do to me? And what kind of security do I have for that?
Puts you in a very unsafe position.
Thank you. Why, sorry about that. Do I feel safe even now? No, I don't out there. Which brings up another thing. When he drives by and flips me off, is that harassment?
Yeah, pretty much could be.
I would say.
With his kid on the back of the ATV, he's flipping me off with his kid right on the ATV. What a parent of the year award here.
It just seems to me that with the no contact, if they made contact, he's broken the law.
In my mind, exactly.
So what can we as a board of supervisors do? You know,
So I'm not asking you to do anything. I just want everybody here aware of what is happening and going on. So everybody's aware of this for what potentially could happen in the future here. Because the guy will, if I shoot another one of his dogs, it's going to be wild. So, yeah, I just feel.
Well, it's better that you do come in and bring this up now in an open meeting so that everybody can point and say, Randy brought this up, not after the fact.
Yes, yes.
I think you're doing the right thing, but I feel helpless in a way that, and I can imagine how you feel in your own property. It's, not, I don't, we don't know, Roger.
Randy's not dealing with an average citizen that wants to,
No,
Try to get along.
right?
there's no trying to get along. That's not gonna happen. Okay, so the other question I think I texted you, Gene, was when the owners are liable, which is what is said in here, and they would do the same thing, am I gonna have to go to a lawyer and take them to court again for the damages? Or is this through the county?
There's the county and then there's the civil option also. You don't feel you get enough recourse through the county ordinance, you do have it's not a one and done, you have the option to sue civilly as well.
I think that was all in section
So
12.
that's in,
Section 12, I think.
okay,
Yeah.
Because that's what we wanted to avoid. That's why we have that out there, that the county has the law against it, so you have
so I
protection.
have the protection from the county. Right. Or if that doesn't work, the civil portion.
Do both.
Okay. Okay, this ordinance, I'm thinking, says something about a one-time free card, kind of. Is there something in here I remember reading about that? Like if something happens or they're on my property, is there something there on that? I'm thinking,
A free card,
I don't remember.
like, to get,
like they can,
get a
there's
warning?
nothing, yes, the warning.
No, I think that'd go back to,
What'd you say?
do they get a warning before they
A
get
free
a
card.
Like a free card, like if they're on my property, is there a free card or just a warning thing?
No.
Even if it's somebody else's dog other than this guy's, who this guy has had free cards for 10+ years.
I don't remember that being
I don't
in there
remember that.
anywhere.
Okay,
It
so,
might be that to where it could be the sheriff.
At the
might-
discretion.
At the
Discretion.
discretion of the sheriff to say, my dog came over to your place, Randy, and I was like, holy
It's
cow,
never caused
I
any
feel
harm.
terrible, I
Yeah,
reimburse you for all damages or whatever, and the sheriff will. He's gonna take care
well,
of
that
it,
would have been,
you know, he's gonna take care of it, yeah.
that would be a responsible person.
We're not gonna put your dog down because you.
Yeah, I
There's-
totally.
So I think that would be the discretionary,
yeah, his free cards have been used up, yeah.
you know, something like that.
But not you get one
I mean,
time.
I get that, and if it's a different neighbor's dog or something, and I don't care if they run through the yard, as long as they're not killing something, then they do.
Well, and part of, we brought that up, Randy, too. You know, let's say a dog bites a kid. And then remember that we talked about how if that dog went back home, we didn't do anything or didn't give the sheriff discretion to analyze the situation. And then something happened again where that dog did more damages and we knew about it, more liability that we knew and didn't do anything, so that's, you know, so that up to those sheriff to determine, like Kyle said, that with the severity of the situation and
Okay, okay. This is another thing. Okay, going back on the garnishment, this is just a question. When this garnishment is done and it's reaches the total amount, does somebody let me know, or do I just need to go up and say, where are we at on this situation? Blah, blah, blah. How much? I mean,
As long as they're going through the clerk of court, you know, because some of the monies he gave directly to you, correct?
no,
No, he always went through the court. The court, yeah,
yeah,
the court is keeping track, you know.
yes. So do
Yeah.
they contact me when this garnishment is done?
Usually, with garnishments that I've had, like, I have people that garnish wages out of some of my employees. When I, because it's in the computer that it's satisfied, you tell them how much it is, the letter goes out, that says that it's been satisfied.
So
So
they
from the clerk of court.
I would believe the
to
clerk
that
of
it's-
court is doing the same thing as a small business does. They know that
So I would be notified.
you would be notified. I could run up and ask her after the meeting.
Well,
and
I
find
can
out how that
go
goes
and
too.
ask too. on
Because
that.
government might work different than private sector, but
Yeah.
my computer kind of knows when that has been satisfied and yeah.
I don't
It
know
would be-
the answer to that.
Yeah.
That'd be a guess.
Right.
If I gave you anything, so
He has to go to the
So I
source.
can
to
talk
go
to them.
straight
Because
to
you won't know if you stop getting the payment that it quit his job or are we done, you know? And so I would ask them for sure.
It's not a critical job, which kind of surprises me because he drives mine and asks him what co-op truck to help him today.
Okay.
So, I think we talked about the flipping me off thing. Oh, here's,
Neighbors.
and this is nothing really for you guys, I guess, but his wife left him and now he's got, from what I have heard, a meth head girlfriend up there. So that's just enhances my feeling of if he's indulging, should we say, also with the girlfriend. That makes my safety factor even worse as far as I'm concerned. Again, another thing I just wanted to bring up here. Because when he gets all jacked up, he can just come down the hill. And my comment on that is, and I want to bring that up here too, with all this that's going on, I'm gonna protect myself. So
Have that right.
do not know what is gonna come of that, but I will definitely be there trying to protect myself.
You're well aware of the loss and protecting yourself, don't be coming down to you.
And that's why I make sure everybody's aware of that situation here too, in case something does happen. Okay, I think the only other thing I have written down here was a year ago in May, and you guys all see the pictures of that, it was a different neighbor's dogs. And I was told by Rasmussen at that time, which I don't think I took pictures of it, those dogs at that time, which I should have, took pictures of what the damage did. But anyway, it was a different neighbor's dog, so Rasmussen told me to figure out the bill, which I did, was $500. And of course, having mines, and I lost, which is another meth
And I
person.
don't think
from
there's
what
no
I-
garnishing any wages there.
No, I mean, why would I spend $1,000 to go garnish?
I didn't know, I mean, I didn't think he had a job.
Not as far as I know.
How do you take care of a dog if you don't have a job?
I know, totally beside me.
Totally.
But anyway, again, wanted to bring that one up, and I mean, why would I go to a lawyer? Because I would have to go to a lawyer to do this, and I'd spend $1,000
At least.
at least to get this going for $500. So, but at least there has not been an issue with me since.
Did Roger go talk to that neighbor at that time?
Yes,
Okay.
and I figured the bill. I sent it to him on text, and Rasmussen told me he took it over to him and said that he had to pay him that, or even in installments. And
See, cell talks.
yes, there's one over there and not two. So, but I think that covers everything I've got, and a lot of this was just, I wanted to update you on what has been happening and in my face and all of this stuff. So there are more people aware of this than just me. So, okay.
I appreciate you coming in. I
Thanks,
think our
everybody.
ordinances, we really took a lot of time and thought, and we're hoping that it covers all of the boxes and that it helps you.
I said it's only to get us the enforcement
Right.
behind it, so I
Well,
mean,
we
if
did
you run
run
into
that.
problems with that, I mean, you gotta let us know.
I totally understand that. But I questioned it with the past 10+ years and nothing's ever.
Keep documenting things,
Yep.
keep taking pictures. If he comes over, call, videotape, do what you can.
Oh, I have always been, having to call the sheriff's department.
Keep documenting.
Always. I don't know what the department has written down with record wise that every time I called,
They should have it all.
they should
They
should.
should have it all. I'm sure they do. Sure they do.
on that matter, but this goes back to the previous sheriff.
Things have changed. New sheriff in town. I hope.
I do too, Gene, I will certainly do.
Well, you've got my number.
I do.
But Randy, I mean, I really do appreciate you coming in. I know it's been huge, difficult, long process.
That's been a long process for you guys too.
But You spurred what that, I mean,
Right.
really,
Without you, we wouldn't have this.
That's right. And I think a lot of people, I mean, it's spurred people to call us and they were surprised we didn't have one. And like I said, people from Kyron and Suswick wondering, how that all works for them and maybe
So-
that in front of them.
I guess, is this, from what you're hearing, Ellen, you are hearing, is this a positive thing? from
Yes,
residents?
Absolutely,
Okay, good.
absolutely.
I think
Everybody,
there was a few concerns about hunting dogs and leashes and some things like that.
I
or
think we took,
Crossing from city to county.
You know what, farm dogs?
Yeah.
Most farm dogs hang out in their territory, which is their yard, but dogs don't know our human boundaries.
Yeah,
But you don't wanna chain, Kyle got dogs up there to protect his place from the coyotes and stuff, I mean, so you don't wanna chain them up or basically just
I
put
mean,
the
I-
supper on a leash to the coyote.
I agree. This would have never happened had this person
And responsible.
been responsible from the get-go.
That's the difference.
You know what, years ago, the owner of those dogs that would have did this would have taken care of that
Right,
situation
exactly.
right away on their own and paid the person for their.
Yeah.
Now we have protection for the law-abiding citizens.
and we have a
The
bad,
unincorporated areas of Crawford.
Thanks.
we had a bad actor on
Thank you.
here.
Thanks,
Thanks
everybody.
for coming in.
Yeah, thanks.
Thank you. I wish you.
Okay, discuss take action appointment of Jeff Mendenhall, Veterans Affairs Commission, 3-year term, June 30th, 2020.
I make a motion that we appoint Jeff Mendenhall as
I will
Veteran Affairs Commission.
second that.
Motion and second, any further discussion?
Talked to Louise this morning and she's just excited because he'll bring good things to her commission, so.
Yep.
It's all good.
Good person.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Chair votes aye. Next is our tax abatement. Do you have that or they gotta bring that up?
I don't have it.
So, yeah, wait, yes.
Remember what? 35? I'll call their office.
Oh, number 5.
Yeah, 5. Starlight, hey Dave here, we're up to the part of our agenda for that tax abatement. Sound good, thanks, Starlight.
She seems to enjoy her job.
Yeah, I think so.
I think that he's got a good start for a good staff. I think our new assessor's got a good start for a good staff.
He emailed me about, his physical, and I gave Amy's email and number. I'm sure he's aware of what to do.
Yeah, he just needs to call the hospital or call the clinic at the hospital and make an appointment.
And I also sent forward, come on down, Charlie. And you and Amy and Colin, he has signed the agreement. for the
Oh,
Amy
okay.
to work on.
Oh, okay.
So what do we got today?
I did not take this. Ethan gave this to me. It came online. It's a tax amendment for a house.
When was it dated? That's the one question I
It
have.
was dated 9/3.
That's gonna be a problem, because I think our, it says they cannot be.
Started already?
Construction can't be started on.
We typically allow if like dirt work's done, or maybe even some foundation for it, but if they're living in it, or windows were going in and one, but I didn't know if you knew.
But she
how far
just
along-
bringing it to us.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't even know much about
Okay.
that. I mean, it just came to us. Ethan received it, I'm assuming email maybe or something,
It's pretty
but
much done. I'm pretty sure they're living in it.
What, really?
It's a
Huh.
beautiful building. That's very nice.
Where's it at?
St. City.
Right by Dow City, and then you're coming in, you look up on the hill.
Okay.
Started
Yeah.
construction 8/24. Estimated completion date 8/25.
Yeah,
In a day?
And this is
No,
nine.
Oh.
20 in a year.
Oh, it started in 8/24.
They got it
I thought you
done.
meant August
Well, and
24th
it's
it
just,
started.
they're filing for a tax.
Finished
abatement,
August
so
5th. Okay.
I have those done.
Right. Before they.
Yeah,
move.
you would think,
Start.
but I understand.
Yeah, and no, because you guys.
No,
you guys
yeah,
did
you're
it
good.
to us, So,
Not your
Yeah.
fault. of any-
yeah, we just watched it. If they are completed or mostly, a major
Exactly.
construction started
And
in.
if board could still allow it.
When did they get the permit?
They just got. the
August
permit.
24.
Well, that was when they started construction. I don't
Yeah.
think
Started
they-
construction of
Did they get a permit?
8/24.
They get a permit?
Do they have a permit?
Building
Building
Do
permit?
you know?
I,
Cause they would have got that through the assessor's
yeah, and that
office
was
too.
before me and that's
That
my
would've
bad.
been
I should have
hard.
checked.
So,
No, it's okay.
but even if it says their estimated completion date was 8/25, and then this
Yeah. it was
application
signed in
signature
November.
signed by
I know.
Amy 9/3, they're
Yeah.
already stating on this that they,
Signed by the owner
Completed.
of the
yeah,
property.
Amy. It's
Okay.
Mitchell. I
Mitchell.
think.
Mitchell, I think it'll be Mitchell. So yeah, their completion date is at,
I know, it seems
Is
a little.
before
out of
their-
order.
It
Uh-huh.
is.
Very out of
It
order.
is, and we're
Now,
trying to think
I'm
of. how
curious if
that's
they
all
do have a
works.
permit now too.
yeah, that's what I'm wondering, if they have a permit. Did they just get the permit, which maybe,
Maybe they thought that was their tax abatement, huh?
yeah,
Was the permit. They didn't know they had to file a separate form. I'm just asking, I don't know.
but the only time that I know that we did not allow it, they never even had a building permit. The only time I remember that we disallowed one was, there was never a building permit.
How hard would it be to find if they would build it?
I can go back and check.
They can't. Yeah.
I didn't, like, I
It's
should have.
okay.
That's just,
Yeah, no, you're all right.
pay no action, just check on that.
Right, it's already
Yeah,
done.
I mean, yeah, we're not.
Yes,
I mean,
I mean, the
know.
building's done, so
Do we want to approve it pending a
you
building
wanna
permit?
base it off of
Do we wanna
whether
do
they had a
that?
Well, I
permit.
think
I
or
mean,
not.
there's no way we can approve it at this according to
Right.
what we.
historically, we've always based off of construction,
Yep.
not building
Right.
permit. They
That's
got
a
major
big
construction
precedence to
done.
set if you're gonna.
So I would say at this time, we take no action unless something else comes up.
Yeah, we have no, we can't approve it the way it is, so.
So,
unless
but
we-
that's why we like to come
Well,
up
we have
and
some
kind of
evidence
discuss
to-
this and
It's
see where we're at.
Okay, no, nothing.
Yeah.
We did the right thing. I mean,
Well, I should have double checked about the. building
You're
permit,
okay.
but I-
That's okay.
Yeah,
No, we're, but at least we like to discuss it out through where we're
Proving us
at.
wrong.
Absolutely. So
Some
then
other
what do I
way
do
we
with this now? I mean,
let them know it has not been approved, I guess. I don't
Just
know.
call them and let them know.
Can we check to see?
I
if
will.
They got their
Check on the
permit though,
permit.
they have to have already applied for this before they move in.
I have to ask Colin.
They're supposed to
I'll
have
ask
a
them.
permit before they apply for that,
So,
right?
do you want me to go check on this and come back up?
Should we ask Colin?
With everything that's
Should
going
either
on
approve or
downstairs.
deny it at some point in time.
Right,
Can't just table it forever.
right.
Do you have the
Can't
tax
table it.
abatement, section downstairs?
And I would like,
Um,
Show up here.
and I would like to actually get our. And have that actual verbiage say here, this is why it's denied, because it says major construction cannot be.
That's all.
Well, didn't we just renew that? We
Yeah,
just
we did.
updated it,
Right.
so
We-
we renewed it.
We did just renew
Yeah, I
it.
don't know where
But to
it's
make
at.
sure everything's
I can
accurate.
You can find it,
I can find it too after the meeting,
I would like to
yeah,
if that's okay.
Yeah,
or maybe we just table it for next week, that you can get,
Okay,
Yeah.
that way you can look up,
That's
Okay.
any building permits, you can look up the verbiage we've got in the ordinance.
Make sure we're doing everything right.
yeah, absolutely.
Even
Yeah.
contact them, just tell them. If you can't find a permit, did you apply for a permit that I seem to have seen to find?
Yeah, I will look for that.
That way we're doing our due diligence to try to help them anyway.
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah, I'll see what I can find. I was just, I've just entered new building permits, and so if this was in 2024, it probably didn't. Yeah, but I will.
You know where to look.
for that.
There's the good.
Okay,
Perfect.
All right.
thank you for coming out.
See you next week. How's that?
Yes.
All right.
All right, Alan, you're up.
Thank you. Usually, I don't know, usually when they give building permit, I thought they handed all that paperwork together, so,
I got that with the tax abatement, with
yeah.
that way it's always ahead of construction, because they get the building permit passed before they start construction.
With the change in that. Why do you sit around?
Excuse me.
Hey,
How you doing this morning?
Oh, I'm doing good. How about you guys?
Good.
how are the weeds in Crawford County?
Well,
That's where
you
you
know,
know.
that's- we,
What a year for weeds, all the rain.
there was, this season was a tough season, as everyone knows. We had lots of moisture, we had lots of heat, so you're gonna have weeds. As the farmers would know, and even in our yards,
So it is.
it's a tough season. And you have to look at that when you're out here too, serving it. And, work with the people. You know, give them a chance. As far as the county is working as hard as they can with the equipment that they have. They've had a lot of breakdowns, the way it sounds.
Someday we'll have that new.
Yeah, we'll have that new machine.
Someday.
But this county is better than a whole lot of other counties. My biggest concern is to go out there and try and enforce. If you look at what our state is doing, our state is not controlling their weeds at all. If you've looked at Highway 141 from Denison to Charter Oak, that terrible?
It is.
Terrible.
But around the bridge right there by Charter Oak.
Yeah.
Just west of town.
I
Where do you
stopped,
send that? You send that to the state DOT?
well, I stopped out at the DOT
Yeah.
here. And they said, well, we hired someone, it's contracted. And we know that their job was,
They should contract with the county.
you know, it is. You know, and years and years ago, you remember, they had sprayers themselves. They went out, my cousin was one of them. I mean, he sprayed a lot of weeds and he was in areas that he shouldn't have been. Banks like this and, you know, and they did a good job. But I don't know what they contract and their contractors do not do a good job. And they said, well, we penalize them. We take everything we can away from what we're supposed to pay them. And, but the results are terrible. And we know what the railroads do. They don't do anything and they're big and powerful. And you not to do anything with them. overall, you know.
What
I
did you
was,
find though for us though?
What did we find for us?
What's in your
We will
report?
send you or hand these out. Should be one. For everyone, take one too there.
Oh, okay,
There's
I will.
one for you.
Thank you.
And then we got reports to the actual reports.
All right.
I started on May 27th and probably should have maybe been out a little bit sooner, but we had the trouble with we didn't have a pickup available and finally I did. I just used mine and collected some little bit of mileage. But May 27th I started and I actually August 28th. Not every day I wasn't out there. I have other things as well to do. I haul people to workman's comp, doctor's appointments, things like that, so. Did I give you? Yeah, you got the weed report there too. This is the one that the state sends out. And as you can see, if it's not known in the county or if it's found to be a major problem or found but not a problem, I've identified those. Of course, I do not do the roadside spraying. You guys, assuming publish the report or a notice of a weed control. You guys don't do contract spraying, you do it yourself. I doubt how many times I actually served notices written. I also visited with a few people too. Why not? Just go, you know, and I didn't really have any problems.
Most
Going
people are
and
pretty
visiting. Most
receptive.
of them were pretty receptive. I think there was a few that called in with a few little complaints, but I worked with them. If they actually tried, I say that that's, you know, if you send them a notice and they tried to get out there, this year was tough, as you all know. It was a very rough year to control weeds. Just the weather was nasty.
I think we sprayed fence lines 3, 4 different times.
Oh, I'm sure. And that's
Kept them
something
back.
that could be done more is fence lines. Yeah, that really is. Now you see on there, the ones that I do have reported. Where I went, most of them are the ones that I've visually seen. I had a couple of anonymous people that called me. But you could see, and I was told right away, this first one's up here by our county spray crew about the leafy spurge. That's down in there in the way next to the Carroll County line. You got two counties working there trying to control that. I think Crawford has been working harder than what Carroll has. I see that in a lot of, I've been up to the northern side, Ida County. It's not much down there. You guys are doing as good a job as you can. And I think if you get newer spray equipment, the guys will be able to do a better job yet. As far as farmers, you know, I got some listed here, but this was early, Crawford County roadside. And they were out there. I seen them, I run into them several times. And of working. But you know, we got sourdock, we got thistles, miscellaneous, Camp, Braggley. It's out there. You guys, you know that too. Had a couple where I misidentified a weed, which I guess I'm human. And we worked together and got that resolved in CRP. Another one, I think, well, if I had a phone.
So are there any
call.
new weeds? Weeds that you didn't know
Any new
existed
weeds?
that came
Yeah,
up?
there's some new weeds out there. One question I have is, if I have the opportunity or whoever does it again this following year. Supposedly, has anyone seen the app? There's an app you can get that helps identify weeds.
I got it.
You got it? All
Well, it
right.
helps you also see what plant you have and if you're watering it too much
Yeah.
or too much sun and all that kind of.
You have that app,
I do.
Oh,
think
be-
so.
and that's something that would be very helpful.
Right, they just put it right up to whatever we
yeah,
are looking
it's-
at, boom, here's what it
Does
is.
it work pretty good for you?
Well, according
Bet
to
you
it, I have a
know,
lot of.
according to what you have.
Yeah, plant parent. Yep, you just put it up there and it tells you what it is. and-
Well,
Is that
I'll
a free
be,
app?
I pay a little bit for it.
yeah, I'm sure you have.
Not a lot, cause I wouldn't pay a lot, so. Oh, how much I think the
Well, I'm gonna-
$1.99.
I would like to, even for my own good. That would be something that would be very helpful.
Yeah, I don't know how accurate those are, because they have them for trees, you know, if you take a
Yep.
picture of
Yeah,
a leaf,
yep,
it's
yep,
what
yep.
the type of tree it is. I don't think they're that accurate, but better accurate than I guess me guessing.
Better guessing,
Wonder
right?
does, like Google AI work for that? Take a picture and
Might.
what is this?
It
Yeah,
might.
possibly,
Might.
yeah.
You know, weeds they're not easy to identify.
I'm gonna try to find a weed here that I
Mr.
found.
Allen, are you willing to serve next year?
My health permits it. Certainly,
Okay.
I would be
I
glad
think you
to.
did a great job and.
Well, I was out there.
I know, I've seen you a couple times out and about.
I was out there. I stopped at Dave's one noon, happened to be in the area, and I thought, well, I didn't know where you lived or anything. Thought, well, check it out.
Well, and then I saw you up by Vale when we were spraying my colors.
Yes, exactly. Yep,
So I've seen him out and about there. All right.
I was out. Yep, yeah. Was on a lot of B roads too. I didn't just hit the main roads. And,
Well, really appreciate it.
Yeah,
well, I appreciate the opportunity to serve you as commissioner.
Let's,
Very interesting.
I'd say plan on it next year unless you guys have a different thought.
Nope. I would like him to do it.
Yep.
Hopefully your health is,
Well, you know, I'm getting up there.
And if something comes up,
Let me
just let us know.
I will let you know. Now, there is something that I guess you have to sign of that report, but make sure that gets.
discussion.
Do we need to take action to approve the report first and then sign it?
Yep.
so.
It says
Any
it's gotta
other
take action.
questions or anything? Any other questions?
Is it right there?
Yeah.
To discuss it again.
Yep.
I'll make a motion to approve.
Motion by Kyle. Second by Ty. No, I just, think you did a good job and you're really out and about. And you could tell that you're passionate about it.
I
You did a good
was,
job.
yep. Well, I appreciate the opportunity that you had.
Next year should be a little smoother now that we got the truck. We won't
Yes.
have that up front
Yeah.
waiting.
And that worked real well to have that, the opportunity to have that.
Cause it's expensive to pay mileage.
Yeah, it sure is.
Guess we have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? All in favor, say aye. Chair votes aye.
Thank you.
Well, thank you.
Report.
Thanks, Alan, we appreciate it.
Oh, I appreciate it, like I said, the opportunity. I serve you guys. You have a wonderful day.
This year, you too.
Yep,
Thank you.
thank you.
Thanks, Alan.
Better take my water.
Oh, yeah, you people.
I have to have that. Thank you.
Thank you, Alan. Before we go into closed session, we have citizens input. We have nobody in the room. Anybody on Zoom have any questions or comments for citizen input?
I do. I don't know how to raise my hand here, though. Just real quickly, I just wanted to make sure that you're all aware that the IUC appeal is going to be heard in district court on October 10th. So just to keep you updated on that.
District court where, Cindy?
A district court at Polk County in Des Moines,
Polk County, okay.
October 10th at 9 a.m. So if anyone's interested in going, we'd love to support.
All right.
Thanks, Cindy. Anybody else with citizens input? Good. I'd entertain a motion to go into closed session.
Shall I go into closed session?
We have a motion second by Gene and Ty. All in favor, say aye.
I,
Chair votes aye. We are in closed session. What time you got?
10:55.